It's a double bill. This is The Bishop's Wife.
And The Muppet Christmas Carol. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Seen and Heard.
Welcome back to Seen and Heard.
This is the podcast where two entertainment assistants go through the Sight and Sound Top 100 Greatest Films of All Time list. I'm Greg.
I'm Jackie.
And we are back. We took a little bit of a break. I think it was a little bit longer than we had intended we were going to take. But we have a reason for it, don't we?
Oh, we do.
Yes. You think I was just sitting eating potato chips and watching ESPN this whole time?
I mean, maybe not ESPN, the Criterion Channel.
The Criterion Channel. Well, the big one is the strike ended. The strikes, both strikes, SAG and WGA
Forgot
ended.
about that.
So those ended. So we've been kind of busier than normal because we've gone back to our industry jobs. Mm-hmm. So, that kind of explains the prolonged break. Although I think we're just like a month late. I think we said we were going to come back. Anyway, who knows?
I traveled.
You traveled. Where'd you go?
I went to Japan.
Beautiful.
It was so nice.
I love it there.
It's the greatest.
Well, Jackie, why don't we catch people up a little bit? I mean, I know this segment could theoretically be its own episode, but let's just keep it short. Oh, I guess also we should announce the structure of this episode, this double bill.
Yeah, this is a new thing we're doing.
It's a new thing because we're coming back. It's right before Christmas, and we figured it would be fun to kind of do this once in a while, this kind of pairing of two films. In this case, it's simply our favorite Christmas movies. So Jackie brought The Bishop's Wife, and I brought The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Well, I have to say, if I'm going to actually name my favorite Christmas movie, it has to be The Grinch.
Oh,
but
here
The
we
Grinch
go.
is also just a perfect movie. And so I didn't want to only talk about it in this context.
The Ron Howard Grinch.
Yeah. So while I love The Bishop's Wife, I don't know if I would say it's my favorite Christmas movie.
Well, we're already going here with asterisks for that. But yeah, and we'll probably do a handful of these over time, and the theme can change, and we'll each kind of bring a movie to the table, and it's kind of designed to ease you and to ease us back into Seen and Heard. This is a more casual episode. So that's the idea. But yeah, Jackie, do you want to share like a Cliff Notes version of what you've been doing, what you've been watching?
I don't know. It's so hard.
What you've been eating? What you've been wearing, most importantly.
Yeah, I walked in and Greg said, I like your Columbo coat. So that's what I've been wearing.
It's winter in LA.
I took some time to just kind of decompress.
Decompose.
Yeah, I was going to say decompose. That too, all of my efforts at being healthy and exercising have decomposed in this time. I should get back on it. But no, I've been working again post-strike, and I've been editing my movie. I'm now in the sound phase. It took a really long time. Even when I was focused in on it, it takes so long. Or at least it does for me. I don't know. And what have I been watching? What haven't I been watching?
Bob the Builder?
Yes, I have not been watching Bob the Builder. It's so hard. I guess just like on this past weekend, Oh, you'll be really proud of me. I watched like a lot of scary movies.
Did you?
Yeah.
What'd you
for
watch?
Halloween. They're not like scary. They're not actually scary. That's how I was able to watch them. I watched Suspiria.
Oh, what'd you think of Suspiria?
I loved it.
The
It's
original?
great. Yeah. The Witch. The Witch was no. I watched The Witch, which is great. But I watched Possession, which is obviously the best.
My God.
So it was like Possession and The Witch.
I can imagine
Incredible.
you having like an awakening during Possession because
I did.
She's so fucking good in that movie.
My God.
And Sam Neill.
Yeah. And yeah, my month of October was a very grim month. And I wanted to indulge in these crazy movies a little bit.
Great.
You know what else I watched? It's not that crazy, but The Love Witch.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a good, cozy, great Halloween watch.
Yeah.
I loved that.
I liked it a lot too.
Loved that. What was I saying? Possession. Oh my God. So good. I'd never seen Carrie.
What?
Never seen Carrie. I watched it.
My God.
Loved it. It was great.
It's on my top 4 on Letterboxd.
It's so good. It's in your top 4?
That's a
bit crazy. But
well, my top 4 kind of rotates, and the last time I saw it, I was like, that needs to be in my top 4.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
What else is going on? What do you think of the Holdovers?
Well, we will have an episode coming up in about a month where we'll run down our favorite films of the year. I liked it a lot. I thought I don't think it was perfect. Although what Alexander Payne movie is, like, I can't find one I'm like, that's a perfect film. But you like them because of their shagginess, and this one was such a warm hug.
It was a warm hug.
So I really liked it. We had a good time with it.
We talked about this, and it really pissed me off while I was watching it. I feel like the trailer for the movie, I saw the whole movie in the trailer. And when those moments came up when I was watching the movie, I'm like, oh God, here we go. I know exactly what's going to happen right now. I know exactly what he's going to say. And that really bugged me.
And they showed the trailer like a million times.
If
like
you
I
have
saw that like 10
A-list,
times.
yeah, you saw it at least 20 times.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the movie's fault, but yeah.
It's not, but it was just like something. There was that. What else did I see? Oh my God. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
I loved it.
Oh, did you love it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you?
I really liked it. I thought it was... Here's the problem, I think. Going into it, and we'll save some of this
Yeah, let's see. We will.
We'll save some of it for our big end of the year episode. People said going into it, top 3 Scorsese. So I was like, oh, this is what we're talking, like top 3 Scorsese. So I went in with unrealistically high expectations. I liked it a lot. I think for a late career Scorsese, it's great. Better than The Irishman. I think it's his best movies since Wolf of Wall Street. I think it was great. I think in the last 20 years, it's one of his best movies. But still, I could name 6 or 7 or 8 Scorsese movies that I think are better. But I thought it was really good. I think I was just waiting to like really, really love it. And instead I was like, oh, this is like really good. So yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was very powerful in many
Lily
ways.
Gladstone.
Did you see Pig with Nicolas Cage?
No. I heard it was good.
I recently saw it. I really liked it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So there was that. Oh, Priscilla. Wow, a lot here.
I have to say.
But I don't know if I should save for that episode.
Oh, I wonder if that's on your top 10.
Come on, look at me.
I was disappointed by it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I actually I loved it as the days passed even more. Like when it ended, I was like, that was so beautiful. And then as the days went on, I was like, that was so, so beautiful.
Oh, cool.
It was like a slow marinade for me.
See, for me, it's the opposite.
Really?
I thought, I was like, yeah, when I first saw it. And then as time goes on, I like it less and less.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I still thought it was, I mean, it's absolutely worthwhile. It's just, anyway. Yeah. What have I been watching? I've been like kind of zeroed in. I mean, yeah, because I run the film club and everything. So we went all out for horror. September, October. So I was like properly horrored out actually. So yeah, I've been watching since then I've been watching kind of like, we did the Ice Storm for the film club and like Life is Sweet and kind of more, and it's like my Bergman season of the year, like where I try to get into family dramas and chamber pieces and stuff. The biggest things I've been doing, 2 things. I've been reading the Moomin books by Tove Jansson. Do you know what those are? Finnish author. The first books were written in the 1930s, I believe, late 30s, and the series ran through the 60s. They're huge in like Finland, actually not just Finland, Europe and Asia. They're huge, these Moomin books. They're kind of almost like the Harry Potter books of their time in the way that they're like for everybody. And so I've been reading those. And which are essentially like, they start off as kind of like children's books, but as the series goes along, it gets more melancholy and just kind of like sad and real. And I've been really enjoying them. So I've been reading the Moomin books. And then I've been watching Doctor Who. So I've seen some Doctor Who before, but I did not do a deep dive. And I was just like, it's time. Obviously, there's a lot of buzz about it because it's the 60th anniversary. And I'd never seen any of the old Doctor Who. So I've spent a lot of time going back to the stuff from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, watching different serials from different doctors. Peter Davison, Tom Baker, John Pertwee. I've just been like kind of like zipping around to different doctors. And then I restarted the new series because I fell off at a certain point. So I restarted the 2005 series with Christopher Eccleston. So I've been just watching a bunch of Doctor Who and reading the Moomin books. So that's sort of been my focus.
Interesting.
Yeah. So other than that, like new films, you will find out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In a future episode.
I started watching The Bear because I wanted to know what all the buzz was about.
Yeah.
Do you watch it?
Yes. I fell off though. I fell off.
When?
A couple episodes in.
Oh, you didn't even finish the first season?
No. Oh. I liked it, but I
like it.
I didn't love it like other people.
I like it a lot. I think it's a very humble, simple, real show, which I feel like people don't really make anymore.
Yeah. Oh, two other things I totally forgot. I've been watching a lot of TV, which is out of character for me. Been watching Columbo, hence the Columbo comment by your jacket, which is I'd seen random episodes, but just going back to the beginning and starting, oh my God.
It's good.
It's so fucking good. Like Spielberg did the first proper episode. It was like one of the first things he directed. It's incredible. Jenna Rollins is in it. Cassavetes is in it.
Oh, really?
Like the guest star sheet is like off the charts. So I've been watching Columbo, and I've also been watching Restored. Have you seen Restored? It's on HBO Max. I think it used to be on, I don't know. It's some HGTV show, but it's this guy, Brett Waterman, who's the most endearing, dorky guy with a cowboy hat who just restores old homes, often homes from like the turn of the century that people have remodeled and just made like gross. So he goes in and just restores them to how they're supposed to look. And Molly and I've like really been enjoying Restored. So Brett Waterman,
that
amazing.
Nice.
I would be genuinely starstruck if I saw him in real life.
Cute.
And all the homes he does are here in like Redlands and stuff. Redlands and Riverside. Oh. He comes to Pasadena for like a salvage shop. So it's local.
Would you say that your break was more productive or relaxing?
Relaxing. It was it was relaxing, and then also the strike ended. So relaxing up until a point. But I feel like, a lot of what I've been watching has been more kind of like, I don't want to say like turn my brain off, but easier going stuff.
For sure.
And
I've been rewatching Girls and like
so good.
I know Girls is so good. So yeah, I also have been, not that it's turn your brain off, but I've seen it before. And,
it's that time of year.
Comforting about it.
I think the last film we did for the podcast was Tango. So yeah, we're gonna regress a little into comfort TV or something.
Yeah. And then I did do a Cassavetes double feature though. I did Husbands and Gloria.
What'd you think?
2 nights. I loved Gloria so much.
That's the one I have not seen.
It's so good.
I haven't seen it.
You would really like it, I think.
Did you like Husbands?
Husbands made me so uncomfortable, and I know that it's supposed to, but even so, I was like, God, man. Like,
Yes.
I
know. What a great cast on that movie, though. Ben Gazzara, Peter Falk, so good.
So much.
My God. The dream team.
Ben Gazzara, too. I love all 3. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Have you seen Killing of a Chinese Bookie?
I haven't. All 3 are in?
No, just Ben Gazzara. But it's like the Ben Gazzara show. It's like a tour de force. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into this week's episode. So Jackie, why don't you tell us what film you're bringing to the table, to this double bill?
The Bishop's Wife from 1947. It was directed by Henry Koster, screenplay by Leonardo Bercovici, Robert E. Sherwood, with Billy Wilder and Charles Brackett being uncredited contributors.
What?
Which I did not know. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Cinematography by Greg Toland and music by Hugo Friedhofer. Greg
Toland of Citizen Kane fame.
Yeah. It's good music.
No, the cinematography.
Oh. Wow. Well, there's a lot of effects and stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
At Christmas time, Bishop Henry Brom is too stressed and busy raising funds for a grand new cathedral to pay attention to his wife Julia and their child Debbie. After praying for guidance and help, an angel, in the form of Cary Grant, is sent down to be his assistant. At first, the angel, called Dudley, offers to help the bishop fulfill his several job requirements, including schmoozing the board of trustees, so that the bishop can spend time with Julia. But the bishop refuses help, insisting he must do it all himself. Left alone in an office with nothing to do, Dudley decides instead to make himself useful by curing Julia of her loneliness. They go to lunch, call on an old professor friend, and skate in the park. Meanwhile, Dudley is charming and helping every single person he meets. Dudley convinces the rich patroness not to support the cathedral, instead to donate her money to the needy. Eventually, the bishop grows weary of Dudley, unsure what his true purpose is, to ruin his life or to help him. Ashamed, Dudley admits that he has feelings for Julia. The bishop stands up to him, admitting he cares about nothing but Julia, and in that moment, Dudley's work is complete. The bishop embraces his wife and gives a badass Christmas sermon, which Dudley wrote. The film stars David Niven as the bishop, Loretta Young as Julia, and Cary Grant as Dudley. I don't really have specs because this is like a casual episode, but the movie, at one point, they were worried about it being too religious. They were worried people were not going to want to see it. And so they actually renamed the movie Cary and the Bishop's Wife.
Cary?
How weird is
Not
that?
Dudley?
No, Cary.
That's
and on the
lame.
poster, and then they changed it back to Bishop's Wife. But then on the poster, it said, "Have you heard about Cary and the Bishop's Wife?" Because they wanted to make it like scandalous.
Yeah, I get it.
Which is so wrong. This movie's weird.
Yeah.
This movie's so weird,
It
but
is
I
weird.
love it. Like, I truly love it. And the reason I chose this movie is because there's this weird, we always have Christmas Eve at our house. And I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago, for the first time, I was getting ready. My mom was like busy downstairs, and I think I was just getting dressed. And I just was flipping channels, and it was TCM, and it was The Bishop's Wife. And I'd never seen it. So I started watching it bit by bit, and I think I only caught like a little bit of it, and I didn't watch the rest. So I only got, I think it was the ending. And then fast forward to a year later, again, on Christmas Eve during the day, it's always on TCM. I don't know why. It's just a thing. And I planned it in advance, and I'm like, I'm going to watch the whole movie this year. And I was charmed, and I've been watching it ever since during the day on Christmas Eve.
So this is not one that you grew up on.
No. See, that's what I was saying. If I was going to choose like the most like Christmas movie to me, it would be The Grinch. But The Grinch is also just one of the most movies to me. And so I wanted to save that for like a personal print or something.
I love that, first of all. I don't think I've seen The Grinch all the way through.
It's so good.
You know what? Because it was kind of after my time.
I know.
When it came out, I was already a little too old, and like
That's a shame.
I didn't see it in the theater. I saw bits and did I? Maybe I saw it in the theater, but I've definitely seen it in bits and pieces on TV, but I don't know that I've ever like sat down.
I used to sit and watch The Grinch every single day, not even during Christmas. Yes.
I guess we all have that movie or two.
And when I was a kid, it was that. I don't know why. I just loved it so much. So I want to dedicate a whole episode to The Grinch. And I thought, let me choose a movie that's a little more low key, because I love 40s Christmas. Like, I love it so much. Shop Around the Corner.
Oh, Shop Around the Corner.
This one, Miracle on 34th Street. Even It's a Wonderful Life. Great movie. Like, I love this.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Just because it's so hyped up. I don't know. But a great movie.
Yeah.
I love 40s Christmas so much.
Yeah.
50s, 40s Christmas. Love it. And this one always was special to me. And I don't know. It's just like, it's weird. Like I said, it's weird. Mm-hmm. Wait, but why do you think it's weird?
So this is my first time seeing it.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, I never saw it before.
What'd you think?
In classic Seen and Heard tradition, our like super mild holiday episode we're supposed to come back on, of course, like... I did not like it at all.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't like it.
I totally see that.
And
when
I felt so bad. I was
it,
like, I don't want to crush
okay.
Jackie's memories of like...
That's okay, because when I was watching it like 2 nights ago or something, I was like, I know Greg's not going to like this. I swear I knew it. But my case for it is this. yes, it's kind of weird, right? That he sort of develops feelings for the bishop's wife. However, the key to this movie, and I think the reason I love it so much, first of all, it's like the magical realism. I love like when he decorates the Christmas tree, and I love the really homemade effects and the index cards, and when he disappears, and I love that. I love like when he's in the old lady's house and the harp is like talking to him, and he's like, you sly thing. He's like grinning at the harp. First of all, it's Cary Grant, like just the most irresistible man ever. And of course, he's just so safe and warm, and everyone loves him. Everyone falls in love with him, and he helps people. But my main case for it is that he gives him a choice. It's not this like predestined thing. It is very much about free will in a way, because he comes down and he says, I'm going to help you do work so that you can spend time with your wife. And then the bishop, even though he's a bishop and he's supposed to believe in angels, doesn't. And he cares more about this materialistic thing and doesn't let him help him. He even says, like, Julia says, oh, can't Dudley go to this meeting for you? And Dudley turns to him and says, can I? And he says, no. And so, like, that is what's important to me. It's just the fact that he denies help. It's his choice. Even when help is given to him, he denies it. He doesn't have any faith. And then he sees what can happen. Like, he can lose his wife. And he changes. I admit, it's a little corny. I don't know if it's preachy. It's not as preachy as I remembered it to be. But there's something so warm about it, like when they're ice skating.
I love that scene.
I love it. And there's a live orchestra. I love, like I said, the 50s Christmas atmosphere. If you're walking down the street, you see your friend, you go up and call on them. You all have drinks and you're talking and you're laughing, like that very warm 50s humanity. I mean, it's candy. Let's face it. The boys' choir is so sweet. It's candy. Yeah. The whole movie. But, I like to have candy at Christmas time.
Of course.
And that's why I love the movie.
That's why you love The Grinch.
That's why I love The Grinch. And I love that he goes to Mrs. Hamilton and he convinces her so quick. Like, I love how the bishop, it takes the longest time, even though he's the religious figure. But like this old lady, for example, all it takes is playing her that song from her dead lover, and she instantly is like, I'm going to donate all my money to charity. Mm-hmm. Like, there's just, I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah.
I love that he calls everyone by their first name. Like the cab driver, Sylvester. So sweet. And notice that happens like right after the bishop is in another car and goes like, driver, pull over. Meanwhile, Cary Grant is here and he's like, Sylvester, come join us. And I don't know. He's so sweet and handsome and it's irresistible. It's irresistible. Is it creepy?
Yes.
You think it's creepy?
Yes, absolutely. It's creepy.
But he wants to be human.
An angel comes down and tries to steal this guy's wife.
He doesn't try to steal her. It happens by accident. He's not there for her. And this angel's job is to make people feel good.
Yeah, but shouldn't an angel be above earthly temptations?
Probably. Yes. And it's so funny because, like, I, like, not growing up, but in all the years I've watched it, I never identified with the professor more than this time around.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the professor.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up thinking that I was Julia, but actually I'm the professor. It's really funny.
But you just saw this, like, 5 years ago.
I know, but still... I don't know.
You're like the last 4 Christmases. I thought I was Julia.
Now I'm the professor who has a Christmas tree to give the illusion of peace on earth.
Right.
That's me. But yeah, I'm sorry you didn't like it. But did it make you feel cozy at all?
It did until it creeped me out. And then I was like...
When did it creep you out?
At a certain stage where it was just apparent that he's trying to make the moves on this lady.
But he wasn't.
And plus it's Cary... Okay, fundamental flaw with the movie. And Cary Grant is one of my all-time faves. I have nothing but love for Cary Grant. I think he's miscast in this.
Shut up.
Yeah, because nothing about him to me screams angel or guardian or something.
Just like, sexy man.
Yeah, like he's great in Screwballs. He's great in the Hitchcock movies. He's great as like kind of an everyman, but with with a certain edge to him, like a kind of Don Draper type, but he always has an edge. And in this movie, he doesn't have an edge. And
but his edge is that he's seducing the wife.
I mean, it's just creepy. He's an angel from God. Also, what is this about? He knows Santa Claus. So in heaven, Santa Claus is real, because this movie is, like you said, it is very religious. Like more so than Miracle on 34th Street. It's a Wonderful Life. Because I feel like it's cribbing a lot from those two movies. Mm-hmm. It's almost half. But it's like, okay, so you're playing the religious angle pretty outwardly, which is fine. So wait, Santa Claus? Like, he's like, yeah, I know Santa Claus. I'm like,
maybe
so
he's talking about Saint Nicholas.
I just felt like, what movie did they think that they were making? It just felt confused in that way.
I've never thought about it like that.
The biggest thing, because I didn't know what this was about when I started it. I'd always heard of this movie, but I didn't read the log line. I just pressed play. So the opening scene with Cary Grant walking around the streets of New York.
Oh, and there's almost 2 accidents within 1 minute.
And he's just kind of like
tragedies.
guiding people. And I was like, don't tell me he's a fucking angel.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know. And then I'm like, okay, great. I just, because this came after all those. This was a year after It's a Wonderful Life and Miracle on 34th Street and stuff.
Excuse me, I'll take him over Clarence any day.
And Shop Around the Corner.
I'll take him over
Here's
Clarence.
the thing about Clarence, though. Clarence, there's an internal logic that works with Clarence. Never once when you're watching It's a Wonderful Life are you like, this guy doesn't feel like an angel. He does feel like an angel, and he's like the outcast angel that's trying to regain his wings or whatever. So it's like, you're behind him and you get him. And this whole movie, I was trying to get a feel for Cary Grant. I'm like, what is this guy's deal? Like, he comes into this guy's life, he takes over his household, he cuddles up with his wife, with his kid. It's like, what the fuck?
He's showing him that you can lose all this. You can lose all this.
Lose. But
some other man will come in and take them.
But here's the thing: you just said yourself that he didn't come in intending on taking her away. He didn't come in with the intention
of taking them away.
Yeah, but he just fell in love.
No, I don't know.
Or lust. He was lusting after her like an animal.
I don't know about that. I think maybe he starts to develop feelings for her when no, but that's the thing. Okay, so when the bishop is at that rich lady's house and he makes him stuck to the chair.
Yeah, so he can take his wife out ice skating. That's
I don't
creepy.
think it's to take the wife out ice skating. I think it's because he refused to come to the rehearsal.
Yeah, but what kind of... It's just like, that's the lesson. Like, okay, well, since you refused, I'm going to glue your butt to this chair in this woman's house and you're just going to be stuck there. Like, what? I was just, at several times while I was watching this, I was like, what the fuck is this? I just like couldn't ever get a handle on what it was doing. It's so funny because like it started and it was very cozy. And then I was like, oh, is he an angel? And then, of course, he was. You know my big thing about him being an angel in this movie?
What?
There's no wit to it. There's no wit. If you look at Clarence in It's a Wonderful Life, there's wit there. There's kind of a nink, nink, nudge, nudge. What's nink? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. In this film...
This film is more adult-oriented. It's a Wonderful Life is too cutesy. This is more adult-oriented, where it's like, is he an angel? Maybe he is just trying to steal his wife. So, like, I think it's more complex.
Know. But the thing about this film is it doesn't get into the bishop's head at all.
No, it doesn't.
And It's a Wonderful Life, you are in George Bailey's head. Also, there's a kid in this movie.
That is from It's a Wonderful Life.
It's the young George Bailey.
Young George Bailey, yeah.
I was like, oh, this kid's in two Christmas classics. I recognized him
immediately.
No, but that's my argument against it being adult, the more adult version, is you're not in the bishop's head at all. You're in Cary Grant's head. You're in the angel's head who's making the moves on this guy's wife. Whereas... Jimmy Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life is the everyman beaten down by the world, and we see it through his eyes. So I would argue that that's the more adult movie.
Yeah, but I think this is more about like how organized religion is bad.
I felt like this movie was singing its praises.
No, it's all against like building this church and look at this bishop. Yeah, he's a bishop, but he doesn't have time for his family. Also, I don't know what branch of Christianity they belong to, but bishops can be married.
Yeah, I think that's because the bishop in Fanny and Alexander, which we did last year, is.
You're right.
Yeah,
interesting.
Mm-hmm. I think it's only certain priests that can't be married. I'm not sure,
but yeah, I don't know. I love this movie.
No, that's great.
But I had a feeling when I was watching it, I'm like, Craig's not gonna like this.
Why did you think that? I'm curious.
It's just the classic reasons people don't usually, which is they think that he's coming on to the wife.
Yeah.
There's a remake with Whitney Houston and I think Denzel.
It's from the 90s or something.
Called The Preacher's Wife. I really want to watch.
Yeah, maybe that's better.
But this movie's
I feel
good.
bad. I feel bad because I know how much you love this.
This movie's so good, and I love the professor, and I love when they go to his house, and
It's boring.
You think it's boring?
I think I was bored. And I watched it with Molly. Neither of us had seen it. And we just put our Christmas tree up a few days ago. And we were like, oh, can't wait to settle into this cozy Christmas movie. And then 20 minutes in, she was on her phone. And then I was just like, it's kind of boring. I know.
Now you're just being mean.
I'm trying not to be mean. Oh, and then, okay, I have one other note here.
Go ahead.
What's the cab driver's name again?
Sylvester.
So they go out. Also, I'm sorry, Cary Grant's skating when he's doing the pirouette so fast, like an Olympic skater. I'm like, give me a fucking break.
But it's funny.
I don't know if the movie knows it's funny.
I think it does.
But they're driving home and the cab driver's like, you've restored my faith in human nature. Like, you don't have to pay the cab because you've restored my faith. I'm like, what, by taking you fucking ice skating? Like, give me a break.
Hey, it's New York. It's tough for the cabbies. If someone says, like, you want to join us for ice skating, that's really sweet.
So Sylvester's just been in an alley somewhere throwing dice against the wall his whole life with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, betting on rats or something.
And humanize him. They humanized him.
Yeah,
no
but
one
in
cares about
a
cab
hokey
drivers.
way. It was really hokey.
What does hoke mean?
Hokum. Look. I feel, as I was watching this and I was turning on it, I felt so bad because this was supposed to be such a cozy episode, and it still is. But I was like, God, I'm gonna have to say that I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
You know what? It's fine.
Wanted to just come back to the show with a clean slate and just have a nice, agreeable episode.
We agree on most episodes.
Yeah. Bishop's wife.
Well,
Wait, do you have anything else?
not after you shout.
Don't let
out
me
the
rain on the
movie.
parade. No.
Do I have anything else? No.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
But you yourself know it's fucking weird.
Yeah, I do.
Because it's funny, because most films we cover on this show that are weird, like, let's just take Return to Oz, for example, which we did last year.
Yeah.
I really like that movie because of how weird it is and how it doesn't fit the mold of what it's supposed to be. It's delivered as this live-action Disney movie sequel to Wizard of Oz, and it's this weirdo fucking movie. But I like that about it, and you don't. And so I feel like usually when we come across a movie that's just kind of weird, that even I feel like you admit this movie doesn't fully work.
I agree. However, be that as it may, as I said, it is a very comforting movie for me. It just is.
I get that.
It comforts me to my core.
But what about the other ones?
Makes me happy. So do the other ones. But this is an unsung one. And I wanted to pick it.
It is pretty unsung.
Yeah.
Now I see it's for a reason.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm about to roast Muppet Christmas Carol.
Wait, let me just say closing thoughts on this. Again, I can't even believe this. But I said Cary Grant was miscast. This is the first Cary Grant movie I've seen and the first role I've seen him in where I'm just like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, I never have that feeling towards Cary Grant.
You said you didn't want to be mean, and yet you're continuously being hateful.
Here, let's before we get to the Muppets.
Oh, what else are you going to shit on
No. See, I'm gonna even it out a little bit. Let's talk about the tree, okay?
Okay.
What do you think about all that tinsel?
Love it.
Are you a tinsel person?
Oh, yeah. Are you?
I've never done it. Have you done it?
I love it because of what I was saying of this very
movies.
50s, 60s vibe of like kind of like a sparse tree, but it's all like tinseled out.
Yeah.
I like it for that reason.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm a tinsel person. I might be.
It's great.
I've never had it.
I didn't see any on your tree outside.
No, but we kind of try to make it look old school with the big bulbs and stuff. And then I wanted to get one of those color wheels. You know, the wheels.
What's that?
There's a light behind it. It's a wheel that rotates, and each quarter of the wheel is a different color gel. And so as they turn past the light, it just projects the tree in different colors. But it's like from the 50s or something.
I don't know it.
There's also those bubble lights. You know those? Mm-mm. They're old-fashioned little tube lights that would get warm, and they're just bubbles would be. It's little bubble lights. But I'm into that like old-fashioned Christmas look.
Great.
And the tree in this is certainly a fine specimen.
I'm so happy. Yeah, so A Muppet Christmas Carol.
It's The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Sorry, The Muppet Christmas
How dare
Carol
you.
was released in 1992. It was directed by Brian Henson, written by Jerry Jewell,
The tone in your voice.
based obviously on the novel by Charles Dickens. Music by Miles Goodman and cinematography by John Fenner.
Well, Miles Goodman may have done the score, but the music, the songs are by Paul Williams of Phantom of the Paradise.
I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
The hate in your eyes right now.
The film tells the story of you guys know what the Christmas Carol is.
Yeah, who doesn't know what
Summarize
this?
it. However,
yeah.
all I will say that it's the plot of the Christmas Carol. But in this version, the story features the great Gonzo playing Charles Dickens and narrating the story to the audience directly with his pal Rizzo the Rat, not to be confused with Ratso Rizzo from Midnight Cowboy. The film stars Michael Caine as Scrooge, Kermit the Frog as Bob Cratchit, Miss Piggy as Mrs. Cratchit, Gonzo as Charles Dickens, as I said, and Rizzo as himself.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, let me. Okay, so this is why I picked Muppet Christmas Carol. So people always ask you what your favorite, Thanksgiving movie is, your favorite Christmas movie, whatever, right? And you're supposed to have an answer. The movie I grew up on the most as a kid was like A Christmas Story, which I still love. And I know there's this whole backlash against A Christmas Story. I know you don't love it, right? I know a lot of people don't love
I'm
it.
just not really attached to
Including my wife, doesn't care about it. And her whole family's like, I don't get this movie. I love A Christmas Story. So that's up there for me. And certainly It's a Wonderful Life. And what I've been saying my favorite is Fanny and Alexander. But we have an episode on Fanny and Alexander from last year. So I love Fanny and Alexander, but I don't pull it out when someone's like, let's watch a Christmas movie.
Because it's not really.
Well, it is, but do you have 5 hours or 6 hours or whatever? It's it's a commitment and it goes to some dark places, which is what I love about it. Muppet Christmas Carol, though, also shout outs to the animated Grinch, which I grew up with, Home Alone 1 and 2, and, the classics. I like the same Christmas Vacation. I like the same Christmas movies that everyone else likes. But Muppet Christmas Carol, for me, has risen in the ranks. So I saw this when I was a kid. Came out when I was 4. I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it as a kid and liked it. But it wasn't until I was an adult that I was like, hold on a second. I'm like, this is a goddamn masterpiece. There's just something about this film. So this is the first film made by Jim Henson Studios after Jim Henson died.
Yeah, it's dedicated to him.
It's dedicated to him, directed by his son, as you said, Brian Henson, who went on to do, what was that puppet sex movie or that puppet crime thing? I don't even remember. Puppetland Murders or something that was famous for a puppet jizzing everywhere.
What?
Yeah. So he did this. He went on to do that. I think Melissa McCarthy was in it. I didn't see it.
Is it new?
No, it's from 10 years ago. It's called the Puppetland Murders or something like that.
Is it under the Henson company?
No, it's not. Anyway, so yeah, this movie is the first post Jim Henson Muppet movie. I think Disney had just acquired the Muppets at this point, which now is a death knell for a franchise if Disney acquires it. Back then, it was actually a positive thing because they did this and they did the follow-up was Muppet Treasure Island with Tim Curry. Have you seen that one?
I'm not really a Muppets person.
You're not a Muppet person? So, okay, here's my argument with the Muppet Christmas Carol. Not only, first of all, I'm sorry, I keep going back. I keep taking the bird's eye view. I love ghosts and Christmas. I think it's a British tradition. I'm a huge fan of the British tradition of ghost stories for Christmas Eve every year. Starting in the 60s, they would make a made-for-TV film based on Dickens or M.R. James or some creepy atmospheric ghost story, and they would air it on TV Christmas Eve. We don't have that here because people are too much of bitches. but my kids are going to get scared if you wear that. But
I feel so bad for your future children.
I know. I was like, this is going to be a thing. My kids are going to know the meaning of ghosts on Christmas. So anyway, I love that tradition. And I've always loved the story of A Christmas Carol. Everyone knows it. It's tired at this point. But I feel like other stories that are equally as like tread on, I feel like Christmas Carol, like I'm still drawn to it and I still see adaptations.
Did you see the FX one from a few years ago? The really dark one? Who did it?
Not the Jim Carrey one, right?
Mm-mm. Okay, it came out in 2019, directed by Nick Murphy with Guy Pearce as Ebenezer Scrooge,
No.
and Andy Serkis does like a bunch of, or I guess he's the ghost. He's one of the ghosts.
No, I haven't seen this. It's good?
I haven't seen it, but it's a mini series and people like it. It's 4 episodes. It's like, I guess you get 1 episode for each ghost.
Oh.
And it's really scary. Like it's like creepy. You should watch it.
Okay. You know what? I know what I'm doing now.
There you go.
Perfect. No, I didn't even know about that. But I love the story. It's a great story.
It is so good.
And there's just something about, I think it's the same reason I love Fanny and Alexander so much, beyond it just being a great film and the summation of one of our greatest filmmakers ever to live. But is that light and dark? It's the bright brights and the dark darks and the balance of them, because I just feel like, same with It's a Wonderful Life, right? Like we have to see his life spiral down the drain and for it to be him resurrected at the end to feel, that's why the movie feels so good. And that's the same thing with Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. So I've always loved the story. You got ghosts, you got Christmas.
So you don't think a man as handsome as Cary Grant seducing your wife is tragic enough for you?
No,
okay,
they didn't
go
even
ahead.
sleep together.
So you would prefer that they actually
You know
slept
what?
together?
If they were going to go in that direction, take it further. Yes, take it further.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted.
So I love the story, and I think that this telling of it is my favorite telling.
But it's so light.
Here's the thing: it's light.
I love it. Don't get me wrong.
There's 2 keys. Okay, there's 2 keys. One, and the biggest one, is Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Michael Caine he's the definitive Scrooge. Like Patrick Stewart's done it, George C. Scott, like lots of people over the years have done Scrooge. They're all good. But Michael Caine in this movie, and again, he signed on to this. He was like, do you want to do this Muppet Christmas Carol movie? He's like, I'll do it if I can play it straight. And they're like, yeah, sure. So that's the approach he's bringing to this. And I think his performance in this is so good. I think it's genuinely one of the highlights of his career. So that's number 1. Number 2 are the songs by Paul Williams. I think the songs by Paul Williams are incredible. Everyone is great, including When Love Is Gone, which is the big one that was cut because Disney got cold feet and they're like, this song's too sad and too slow.
Awful that it's cut. Just to step in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know why my Disney Plus got deactivated. I don't know why. So I had to watch this on Hulu, which is owned by Disney Plus. So I thought it would include the song. Didn't include it.
What?
But I've seen it with the song, and then I
Right.
just went on YouTube and watched it. But
It's a beautiful song.
without it, that scene is like nothing.
Yeah, it's like super truncated. Yeah.
And he's like crying.
Yeah. I know. In the regular cut, you're like, why is he crying? And you're like, oh, this song.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful. And I think, so I love every song in it. And I think they just nail it. They nail the tone. And because it's Jim Henson and it's puppets, the whole thing are these really elaborate sets. And nothing screams Christmas more than these like Dickensian 19th century London sets.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, that's Christmas to me.
It is.
And so they just, sorry.
That's Christmas.
Christmas.
To you.
It's so good. And I am a big Muppets fan, but I think even taking that out of it, it's just a perfect adaptation. And the balance of the light and the dark, like it gets pretty silly with I almost said Ratzo, with Rizzo and Gonzo. But even I love that bit where they dip out of the story for a little bit. This is
like
getting too scary.
Part.
We'll see you at the finale.
Yeah.
So I like they know when to kind of go away.
Funny. I love when Rizzo kisses Gonzo's nose.
Oh,
when
yeah.
he's like so cute.
It's so good.
They're hilarious.
They're hilarious and
Miss Piggy's hilarious.
So good. And the Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim.
Yeah, Tiny Tim is so small.
And there's just something about it being like Muppets that just makes it that much more emotional, I think.
I mean, maybe. I cried. I cried several times. I didn't cry in The Bishop's Wife. I cried in the...
Wow.
I mean, I cry a little bit in The Bishop's Wife, but...
At what part? When he decorates the tree? When he does his pirouette?
No, I cry at Mrs. Hamilton.
Oh. Okay.
I
Yeah,
cry
yeah.
at her a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
And I cry that he's like outside the church and like the professor's walking in the church and he thinks he saw him, but he can't remember him, even though like he changed his life. I don't know. Anyway,
That's fair.
go ahead.
No, wait, you were saying something.
Oh, I think it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
And my mom, I said this last time when I first watched it last year, my mom hates Christmas Carol. It's too dark for her. She loves this movie. She loves it.
It's exactly that. Like, it lightens it up just enough. And the thing is, for a quote unquote children's film, right, from the 90s, it's still not afraid to go to some depths, I think. Like, obviously, it's not super scary, but the ghosts are ethereal and creepy, and especially that first ghost is kind of creepy, and then certainly the last one.
Always. But he's kind of short.
Yeah.
Did you? So, like, I noticed that this
Michael
time.
Caine? Yeah.
No,
Oh, the last ghost.
ghost.
Yes. Except for the middle one, who's not short.
Yeah, the middle one is always the best one, though.
Yeah.
He's always the best one.
The puppets.
No, I think in terms of Christmas carols, I really love this one.
Yeah, I do too.
I really do. And
this, what do you think about the songs? You like the songs?
yeah, I like most of the songs.
They're so good.
I love when the bookkeepers are like complaining about the coal.
Oh yeah.
But then he like yells at them and then they pretend like they're like a tropical island.
Oh yeah.
They're like, he'd wait. It's funny. It's funny. I genuinely laughed and cried. And that just feels good.
There's some line where Rizzo is commenting on something. He's like, "Is he from Jersey?" Like, what the fuck? It's so funny.
It's really good.
It's just and in the middle of it, right? Because it is very light, and it is like, the Muppets are inherently zany, but in the middle of that, the center of the movie is Michael Caine giving it his all in such a tragic role, such a sad role.
Yeah.
And it's just like that balance of Michael Caine going all in and the movie not afraid to go a little bit darker than you would think a movie like that would go. It's just that balance is just like perfect. It's so good.
It's pretty silly. Like, I know you were trying to sell that it's like darker than you expect. I don't think it is, which is fine. I don't care.
Well, when I was a kid, it scared me.
Those guys who are like
Marley and Marley?
No, those Marley and Marley scared you
When
as
I was
a kid?
yeah, their song
come
scared
on.
me.
What? In what
I was a
way?
very impressionable kid.
The guys who are like, we'll go to the funeral if there's lunch, but it's those pigs that always eat.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, lunch, speaking of lunch. Like, but that's in like the darkest part.
Yeah, where they're rummaging through his belongings and like, the spider, the big
Yeah,
spider
but
guy.
they make the joke. And he's a big spider. But
Yeah.
Michael Caine is very good in that scene.
I mean, I'm not trying to say it's super dark, but just like it could have. If Disney made this now, it would be all the edges would be sanded off. Whereas I think it's not afraid to, like there's a scene with the Grim Reaper basically and Scrooge crying, looking at his own grave. Is all I'm saying. Like as a kid, that was so powerful, and like devastating.
Well, as a kid, I was taken to see the freaking Jim Carrey one, which is traumatic.
Wait, you were a kid when that came out? No.
Yeah, I was.
Really?
I was 14. As a 14-year-old, I was traumatized. He not only looks at his grave in that one. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
He kicks him in it.
No, you're right.
Kicks him in his grave.
You're right. That one is scarier, and that's also Disney, right?
It's
Yeah. Is it? Or I know it's Zemeckis.
It's Disney
Okay,
Zemeckis.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that one's more intense
Oh my
than this.
God,
You're right.
it's
Good point.
horrifying. I do not like it at all.
But I feel like that movie lacks the lightness that this has.
Yeah, there's no lightness.
it's
And
about the
anytime they're
balance.
trying to be light, it just comes off creepy because of like the uncanny valley of it all.
Yeah.
I don't like Polar Express.
I'm not a fan of those Zemeckis motion capture movies.
I don't like
Beowulf.
Polar Express
yeah.
or that. I've never seen Beowulf.
Yeah.
Polar Express is scary.
Also, what, like Aerosmith shows up at the end?
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
What the hell is that about?
Okay, so I thought it would be fun if we try to pinpoint like one key similarity between the movies and one key difference, and nothing obvious.
They both made you cry.
That's true. But for the similarity, I thought British man neglects his woman.
Yes.
Do you have any other thoughts? Not that they're both Christmas movies. You can't do that.
Both movies have chimneys in them.
That's true. That is so so true.
And both movies have supernatural entities.
Yeah, that's too obvious. You have to get deep, like
Oh, like yours was.
that is, but they're British. That's
British.
the difference. I love David Niven so much.
But see, while I was watching it, I was like, I'd rather just be watching A Matter of Life and Death.
He's
right
kind of
now,
wasted in it.
He
He's a
is
little
wasted,
in
yeah.
it.
Because you bring in David Niven, you're like, okay, here we go. And then it's like, he doesn't really have anything to do except get his butt glued to a seat.
Bouncing off this then, for the key difference, my key difference is that one of these films has an Academy Award-worthy performance, and it is not the movie that was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking Michael Caine.
Yeah.
No one's performance in Bishop's Wife comes close.
No. I mean,
Except for
again,
Professor. I love
it's
the
a
Professor.
role that asks for that, right? But it's like, he really
But
delivers.
the irony that
Yeah.
the Muppet
Yeah.
movie.
No, if forced, I would say that this is my favorite Michael Caine performance and favorite Michael Caine movie, honestly.
I mean, yeah.
I know that he also he holds it near and dear. Like, he loves
Wait,
this
you like
movie.
this movie more than Hannah and her sisters?
Oh shit, Hannah and her sisters. Maybe.
I like his performance in this one more.
Well, yeah, he's more to do. But I'm
There's
thinking
a
about
lot
all of
to
his
do.
60s and 70s stuff. Yeah, I mean, he's just so fucking good in this. And I've seen it so many times because I watch it. This is one I watch every year. Like, there's some that I skip a year because I don't want to get tired of them. Have to do this every year. Muppet Christmas
That's a
Carol.
good one.
One movie that was really close for me too. Do you like The Snowman at all?
I've never seen it.
The animated film from the 80s?
Never seen it.
Oh my God. It's so good. It's so good. I've rediscovered it. It's there's no dialogue. It's based on a old picture book, and there's no dialogue in it, just music. And it's about a boy that brings a snowman to life, and then the snowman whisks him away into this wonderful world and brings him back, and at the end melts. And that's like what it ends on.
So sad.
It's like 30 minutes long. It's like short, but they used to show it. We would see it in school around Christmas time, like when a substitute was teaching or something, and they'd just throw on the snowman. And it has this, like, again, a boys' choral thing that was when you're 8, was just like, what is this shit? Like, it was boring, it was precious or whatever, but I've rediscovered it as an adult and I really, really love it. I think it's so magical, and it's the director, his name's escaping me right now, but he also did When the Wind Blows. Have you seen that?
No.
And it's a British animated film, also from the 80s, that has to deal with an old British couple that live in the countryside, and a nuclear bomb is dropped, and they're exposed to the radiation, and for the rest of the film, they're dying from radiation poisoning.
That's not what it's about.
I swear to God.
That's not real.
I swear to God, it's a great
I
film.
don't believe you.
I swear to God, When the Wind Blows. I have it on my shelf somewhere. It's a great film.
Oh my God.
It's a great film. But anyway, this is the lighter touch. Yeah, if you haven't seen The Snowman, I think kind of forgotten by time. I don't know. Maybe it's bigger in the UK, but it's an incredible movie. So good. I love it. It's full of just real magic. So that would be close for me to Muppet Christmas Carol. But yeah. Oh, were we talking differences between the two?
You can name a fundamental difference, and it has to be good. It has to be clever. It can't be something obvious.
Well, one of these movies goes
To a dark place.
one of these movies goes to Pound Town and the other doesn't. Let's just say that.
Wow.
One of these is creepy, the other is not. Big surprise, the one with ghosts is not creepy.
Oh my God.
Do you have anything else on either of these pictures?
No. Oh, why isn't Scrooge's sister in the Muppets one? I feel like she's always in all the Christmas carols because she comes to him in like the Christmas Past episode.
I think they cut her because they got all those Muppet characters going on, and they probably needed to streamline the actual story a little bit.
Yeah.
But instead you get, all these side characters.
Oh my gosh. So I saw and it was so random. It was yesterday. I think like before I watched the movie, I was just on Instagram and this video popped up of this guy. I don't know who he is. This is not my original idea. It is his, of a Muppets Les Mis.
Oh my God.
How good would that be?
It would be incredible.
How good would that be? And
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog as Jean Valjean.
Jean Valjean and Javert would be like Fozzie Bear or something.
His pitch was the guy that plays the headmaster in this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's like strict.
Sam the Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be good.
And then Miss Piggy would be Fantine, but like a sassy one.
Yeah. How about the scene? Sorry, just to bring it back, because I keep remembering scenes from this great movie. But the scene when Scrooge goes back to his nephew's house and they're playing that game, and they're like, a creature that isn't wanted. He's like, Scrooge, and then like the way that his face drops, Michael Caine's face drops, like is so heartbreaking.
That happens in every Christmas Carol.
I know,
Greg.
but this one specifically, it just really breaks my heart.
I used to go see the Christmas Carol every year at Glendale Center Theater. Unfortunately, it has closed.
Really?
I used to do it every single year, and it was so fun.
Why did it
close? And it used to get so creepy. When I was a kid, I used to get so scared of the Ghost of Christmas Future. Like, it got all fog, and then like he would just appear, and I was like, oh.
As it should be.
Yeah, it was great. The theater closed during COVID. It was a small family-run theater. I loved it, but it's no longer. I know. My dream is to just like rebuy it one day and reinstate it.
You should.
I mean, I know nothing about running live theater.
You do.
But I have
more
friends.
than you think.
So we'll see.
Recommendation for people who enjoy A Christmas Carol and want some more, even if it's not Christmas themed. The Signalman by Charles Dickens, which was adapted as one of the Ghost Stories for Christmas shorts in the 70s. I believe it was like 1976. And it starred Denholm Elliott, and he gives a great performance. So if you're looking for more Dickens ghost stories, there are many out there, but The Signalman is one of the best.
But is it set at Christmas time?
No.
Is it snowing?
I don't think so.
It's not snowing.
No. So yeah, this was our double bill episode, brand new idea. So if you have any ideas going forward, like certain parameters that we could each bring a film to, drop us a line. You know, we'll probably do these sporadically throughout the series. Next week, though, we do have a special episode. We have a s'mores episode. So it's a patrons only episode. So if you're not subscribed on Patreon, go check it out. You have our whole backlog of s'mores episodes to listen to. But next week, staying in the Christmas theme, we are bringing you a certain Christmas classic from 1974 known as Black Christmas.
Yikes. But I'm okay with that now.
Oh, yeah.
After my
You had your month of purging.
I did my daring October, and now I'm good. Exciting. And then after our s'mores episode, of course, it'll be the new year, and we will be back to work, back to our core, what we do, what we're about, which is watching every movie on the Sight and Sound list. And we are coming back with The General.
Yeah. Excited. It's one of my faves.
Be very fun.
Yeah.
And I think that pretty much wraps it up. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And we hope you guys just take it easy and
watch lots of great movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, Black Christmas next week. Come back. S'mores only. Check it out. I'm Greg.
I'm Jackie.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Special thanks to the patrons at our highest tier, John Pennington and Cynthia Fordwell. Seen and Heard is an official podcast of the Arroyo Film Club. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to drop us a line, you can find us on email at hello@seenandheardpod.com or on Instagram @seenandheardpod.